This Fed Gov Today program is sponsored by Rancher Government Solutions. On this edition of Fed Gov Today, the Army makes a big move on MOSA. The Pentagon starts moving everything to the edge, and the numbers game ahead for agencies. Welcome to Fed Gov Today in Washington, D.C., on YouTube, and around the world on the American Forces Network. I'm Francis Rose. The Army's expanding its footprint in the Modular Open Systems Architecture space. It's moving the concept from hardware to software. Major Domoniqué Hittner, U.S. Army, is digital engineer in the Office of the Deputy Assistant Secretary of the Army for Data Engineering and Software. Ma'am, welcome. It's great to have you on the program. Thanks for joining me today. Where's the Army coming from, and where's the Army going on MOSA?
So the Army is actually moving now, and thank you again for having me on your program. The Army is moving right now in our modular open system approach, which is a wonderful place to be in, and especially as we're establishing our digital engineering ecosystem to take the data from our system engineering artifacts and our digital artifacts and truly move it into a place that's cohesive to turn all of our data into actionable mission intelligence.
How did you assess where you are and where you have been to determine what you needed to do to build this digital engineering infrastructure?
So there's actually several technology adoption metrics that we established alongside with the Office of Secretary of War. We developed KPIs to help us inform our technology adoption across all of our portfolio acquisition executives. And this enables us to not only discern the true usability of the systems from an International Standards Association, effectiveness, efficiency, and user satisfaction, but to also really determine what truly needs to be sustained, what can be consolidated, to truly have a cohesive picture across the portfolios to really turn that data into something usable.
You mentioned that the Army's already moving out on MOSA. Are you using the same principles for modern open systems architecture for the digital engineering project that the Army uses in other areas and that some of the other services also use?
We are absolutely working together with our joint partners, and we're very honored to work with our industry partners as well. The biggest change that you'll see in our implementation guidance is we are taking really a common sense approach. You already do this in your home. We're taking truly a common sense approach to determining the full life cycle requirements up front. So that information is truly baked into our policies, into our contract guidance, into the development of those boundaries. So as we are truly providing a request for proposal, all of that legwork is done up front. And we've structured our teams to support this, and our organization within ASALT and within ADASM-DES is truly postured to provide that technical expertise to support all the portfolio acquisition executives and our joint programs.
You anticipated where I wanted to go next, which is what did you have to do infrastructure-wise, people-wise, to get people in the right places to be able to leverage what you want to leverage?
That's truly the blessing of having such a strong technical team. Within ASALT and also within ADASM-DES, we have what's called acquisition technical experts, which are people that are not only postured with operational experience, acquisition to expertise, but those true scientists, those true engineers that have the background to solve those complex, big DoD, DoW issues and problems and provide solutions that are meaningful and timely, thoughtfully and deliberately delivered to our warfighter.
You mentioned the acquisition workforce there. Some of the folks that I've talked to about MOSA over the years have said that kind of re-educating, reteaching the concepts to those acquisition folks is one of the challenges. Have you seen that in the work that you've done in the Army?
I have worked with the most absolute professionals in my entire, in my Army experience, and especially in the acquisition workforce. I had lots of operational experience too, and the pleasure of working with so many technical experts across all soldiers. And you would be shocked of how many true experts we have on the field today. But our acquisition workforce does have what's called acquisition technical experts. So people that have hard PhDs in those very difficult STEM fields, people that have the knowledge and the experience conducting research that actually delivers. work that actually produces actionable results that are thoughtful and deliberate. So that's really the game changer in our workforce. This is talent management.
Yeah.
The Army's moving now. And so with that, we have the standard identified, and we're obviously open and willing to work with our partners to ensure that we're not only meeting that standard, but excelling and truly delivering for all of our soldiers, guardians, airmen, sailors, civilians across the board, and our Marines.
How much of the change that you expect to drive here do you think will be tactical? How much of it do you think will be strategic? And how much of it do you think will be cultural, getting people to think differently about delivering solutions in a different way?
There will certainly always be laggards in any sort of technology adoption. And what's great about that is we have an opportunity to not only educate, but to continue to build the future force that we need to take on those tough challenges as they continue to persist. Our Army mission is no longer this linear mission. It's complex, and the solutions that we will need to adopt will not only transform across multiple engineering disciplines, across platforms from different types of agents, personnel, humans, across the board, autonomous systems. We need to be able to be postured and align our talents and resources to support that infrastructure. So this digital engineering ecosystem really leads us there, and it truly turns that data, that fragmented engineering data, into something you can use today.
Who do you want to be your end users? Who will benefit from having this data available to them in ways that they haven't had it available before?
So not only Army senior leaders, think ground force commanders, think portfolio acquisition executives, our capability portfolio executives as well, thinking through that Army transformation, acquisition transformation, but also soldiers. They deserve the absolute best software and systems, just like you would receive in your home. If you were in your kitchen and your digital filter inside of your refrigerator stopped working, you would replace the entire kitchen. You wouldn't replace the entire refrigerator. You would likely, find a suitable replacement that suits your needs and your budget, and you would know what you'd want up front. So it's a similar sort of premise of finding solutions that actually meet the needs up front and communicating those standards up front prior to request for proposal. So that way it's not really a surprise. We're working together to build this partnership.
I note that you use the word standards and not requirements, and that's another cultural thing, I imagine, that will be significant for the Army to navigate. Is that a fair observation on my part?
So requirements will be established up front for the full scale of the full cycle, life cycle of our work. And understanding those requirements to the best of our knowledge, because you may not know how the mission will change once you're on the ground, just to be frank. So, but understanding where you are today, having a blueprint of what the goal actually was at the time of need, so that way people can come to the table with the solution that makes the most sense. That is truly our goal, and we want to make sure that we are postured to support that end game and that infrastructure. But having that standard in place is important, because ultimately we don't just want a solution that's not going to work for our warfighter. We need the best. We do need the best types of solutions, and we need it to work and to be interchangeable if they're not meeting the standard. So being a part of that team in the beginning and communicating those to that end is critical for us, and we want to make sure that we're being as transparent as possible as we partner with our incredible industry team and the entire organic industrial base.
We have about a minute left. Where are some of the solutions that you expect to see this manifest itself rather quickly?
I'm really glad that you asked that. We are going to be submitting some requests for proposal, and we would love to work with our academic partners, our industry teammates, to really learn what's truly out there and ready to move out right now. We are ready to move, and we look forward to their partnership.
Ma'am, it's great to have you here. Thanks for joining me today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
You can read more about the Army and MOSA on today's show page at fedgovtoday.com. Up next, the Pentagon starts moving everything to the edge. Fed Gov Today with Francis Rose. We'll be right back.